Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Joe Does Stuff, and I'm back with a doozy to share with you guys today. It's been a little bit since I've last uploaded. I took a little break for the holidays, went out of town to Mississippi for Thanksgiving. I hope all of you enjoyed your Thanksgiving, and man, do I got some video to share with you from that trip. Wait until you see this Airbnb that we stayed at, folks. When you think about me reacting to bad work, oh man, this house was the house of horrors, or the house of dreams for a person that reacts to piss poor contractor work. But anyways, that'll be within the next day or so. We'll be getting that video together to share with you. While I was gone down in Mississippi, in my local area, I shared about this in a recent video here on Joe Does Stuff. And folks, it's getting exposed now in the news. And we're going to put it all the way out there as well here today, because there is so much more involved in all of this. Folks, we've got a news story right here. It says local contractor seeks past due payments from Virginia Beach apartment complex. Now, you may remember I was talking about a couple of videos back about a major player in the contracting game in my local area who did $1.3 million worth of work for a company. And this was a company that I actually worked for very briefly, and was told by a freaking employee of this property that we were doing painting work at, hey, their words verbatim were, "You guys do great work. I sure hope you get paid." And when I asked, what do you mean? They would tell me that that company did not pay contractors at all. Hence the fact that we were there. And he was telling me, "Why do you even think that you guys are here? Because we can't keep any contractors." And he said, "The only way that you're going to get paid is if you threaten to take these people to court," which I would actually end up doing. After about a month or so, we probably performed like 4.5 jobs for this company. I say half because we actually left in the middle of a job. It was a small drywall patch job. But once I realized that they weren't going to pay me, the 30-day mark had passed and we were probably at like 45 days. I weren't even going to play with them people anymore after what the employee had told me. I got up out of there. We immediately started sending letters saying, "Hey, we're getting ready to sue you. Where's our money at?" They would end up getting me paid. I think it took like 4 or 5 months for me to get paid from them people. It took a long time, but I'm glad that I got out of there. I only ended up doing like about $4,000 worth of work for that company. However, there are certainly some other companies, including that big player that I was talking about doing the $1.3 million worth of work, and other companies that are having the same exact problems with this particular company that owns a handful of apartment complexes in my area. And they're not getting paid, and they've taken it to the news. Let's go ahead and share the story a little bit, and then I'm going to share a lot more about this because the story ain't even the tip of the iceberg. Some local contractors say they have yet to be paid and are owed thousands of dollars from a Hampton Roads property management company after completing requested work at a Virginia Beach apartment complex. $7,200 is what they owe us. They just won't pay, said Airbnb Services owner Mark Ellis. I've never heard of them, but I think that they do painting and tub glazing and some other things as well. Ellis said he has invoices that show work completed by his contracting company, ABB Services, at Dove Landing Apartments between May and July. He said that he was contracted to refinish bathtubs, and after the job was complete, he ran into issues. A refusal of payment, it just doesn't make sense, Ellis said. That's crazy. Damn, they're refusing to pay this guy? Ellis said he's done work at this complex for many years, but after the switch in owners, things have gone south. That's right, folks. This new company comes into play. I don't know how long this company has been around. I'm quite certain they're going to mention this company by name, this property management company. They do. It says Dove Landing is now owned by Kev Property Management. Whoo! This is the first time Joe putting a name on it. And I'm only doing so because the company name is mentioned in this news article. Old Kev Property Management. You know, when I had my painting business, we worked for a handful of property management companies and some of the biggest in the area. Actually, yeah, definitely the biggest in the area. But Kev was nothing like that. They were this lowly, old, smaller property management company that, again, I had an employee of them actually tell me you're not going to get paid, which, you know, we got the green light from them for that. And here's the thing real quick. To do all of the work that these contractors are doing and to not get paid is absolutely crazy. Now, let me go ahead and talk about Big Fish real quick with the $1.3 million. This guy did a full apartment renovation, an entire complex, $1.3 million, and he was paid. The story doesn't mention anything about that guy, as far as I know. And when I ran across this story, there were only a handful of comments on it. We're going to look at some of those comments as well. Maybe he's gotten up into the comments section. I'm not going to put him out there, but this is a big player. So he does $1.3 million worth of work. They pay this guy, which when I hear about that, I think is unbelievable. Holy shit, you got paid from a company that doesn't pay anybody and that amount of money, but then they start reversing payment. And I don't even know how you do that. I don't know how you refuse to pay. What are you going to say? Oh, the work is no good? Like, is this how you're doing business? Forget this company. Kev Property Management, forget them. If you're in my area, do not go do any work for these people. They're already in the news. They should have been there a long time ago. Supposedly, the way the story goes, the owner of Kev, or should I say said property management group, that sounds a little bit more professional. Supposedly, he reversed these payments and then went and bought like a Lamborghini. Like, what the? Hey, this is just hearsay, okay? This is just what's being passed down, inmate.com in the old contractor grapevine here. But dude said, you know what? I'm not paying you $1.3 million. I'm about to get this money back, say your work was bullshit, and I'm about to go buy me a Lambo. It's what it's kind of seeming like plausibly happened here. Also, real quick, I believe that old boy owner of Kev Management is under federal investigation right now as well, too. Supposedly, he's grown his hair out, grown a beard, and people are worried this dude's going to try to pull a Diddy and lead a damn country, or should I have said a little Dirk? I believe he was the one who was trying to flee from the country. Shit's wild. So you want to be a contractor and deal with multifamily or apartments? Don't work with these small fish property management companies. When I asked for contact numbers, can I speak to the upper management? I can't get any phone numbers, Ellis said. That's interesting. After 10 on Your Side, which is the local news that exposed this, tried contacting Kev Property Management, Chris Daltrey, an attorney representing Dove Landing Apartments, gave us a call. Well, the issue, as I understand it, with that particular contractor is we recently bought that property, Daltrey said. A news release dated January 19th, 2024 on Kev Property Management's website announced its purchase of Dove Landing. Okay, rule number 2 in this, you want to be a contractor for apartments. This is a lesson that I learned. Do not deal with any properties that are in the process of being sold. Now, a lot of times you're not going to know that. But if you're privy enough to get that type of inside information that they are in the process of selling to another property management company, don't get involved with them. If you're working for a company and you've been working for them for a little while and you find out they're getting ready to sell, it's going to be time to shut it down, collect your money, wait for that sale to take place before you start doing any work. Because if you get caught up with money outstanding in the process of a sale, your money could easily become it could go away, man. Oh, that was what was dealt with under the old company. We don't know anything about that. We're the new company. You know, when they talk about a property lien, putting a lien on a property because the contractors owed money, that would be the only safety harness that you would have to ensure that you would get your money as soon as that new deal is sealed. We painted Danny's old apartment. I was contacted by the owner of that property and many others in that area saying, hey, I'm getting ready to sell the property. I want you to come do a whole bunch of work for me. He was the owner calling lowly old me. I felt so special. Do you know, we went and did a whole bunch of work, probably about $4,000 or $5,000 worth of work. It might have even been like $6,000. We do all of this work. They sell the property to the new company. The new company has no money. They can't pay nobody. These mugs sent me some checks that I went and tried to deposit, and we're talking way later, months later, 5-6 months later, half a year later. I finally get these checks in the mail. I go try to put these checks in the bank. First, I'm trying to do the phone deposit, taking a picture. The check's not going through. It's saying that there's some kind of an issue. Doesn't tell me nothing other than, oh, well, we can't process the check right now. I'm thinking it's something with the app. I go to the bank. I say, hey, I've already filled out these checks for mobile deposit. Can you get these deposited the regular way? They said, yeah, but because you signed them for mobile deposit, it might take a couple of more days. I said, hey, I don't care. I just need to get these checks deposited. They take the checks. They take it to the branch manager. The branch manager pulls me to the side into their little cubicle. And they're like, where did you get these checks? Who gave you these checks? What are these checks for? I'm getting interrogated. I'm explaining everything to them. They tell me, well, the reason I'm asking is because these checks are fraudulent checks. They're not real checks. I'm like, what do you mean they're not real checks? They said, you see, we can't take our thumb and put it here and it doesn't change color. That lets us know these checks are fake. Man, I haul ass back to this property. Like what in a what? Y'all trying to get me federally hemmed up here with bad checks? I'm like, what? They said, oh, that was just to cover our end for bookkeeping or something like that. Anyways, the next day they had it. A personal check was overnighted to me. I'm telling you, if you mess with these small little property management companies, you could end up with a world of hurt. And then if you end up in the middle of a merger or a sale, same situation. Daughtry said that to his knowledge, the work was completed under the previous property management, so that company would be responsible to pay and not his client. Oh, God. Can you see how screwed up this is? Do you think that if you've done work for a company that's sold to another company, they're going to be thinking about paying you at all? Hey, man, we don't even exist no more. We done liquidated. We was an LLC to start with. Get it from the rough. Ellis claims his work was done in agreement with Kev Property Management, which I'm sure it absolutely was. What it boils down to in this case is he did some work we don't think we authorized. Daughtry said, that's the lawyer for Kev Property Man. Man, these people ain't shit. Ellis said he's not sure what contractors, if any, have been paid by this company. I have a list of other contractors, the small guys like me, that have been defrauded, Ellis said. We never received payment. And Scott Inklema of Premier Painting LLC, that was one of my other competitors in the local area. He's a bigger fish than I was. He is owed $10,000. Boy, you brought in Premier. Premier is actually a pretty good painting company in my area. Inklema said he completed paint jobs but received no compensation. I've heard from a lot of other contractors that I spoke to that this really hurt them, Inklema said. Said Ellis, we genuinely put our heart into all the work we did, and they just won't pay for it, and that's just not right. Both contractors said they are moving forward with legal action, but Dove Landing's attorney said it wants to resolve the matter. If you want to resolve the matter, just pay them people. But here's what resolving the matter is going to mean. Hey, look, we know we owe you $7,200, or so you say, and we owe $10,000 to this guy. Look, let's just settle this for halves. Can we do halfsies? Could you imagine? And to think that the big fish ain't even mentioned in this story. That's the crazy part. So I'm going to go back to that story right there. Okay, here we go. So there's 34 comments on this and 12 shares. Put a lien on the property. Same happened to me. I did roofs for one place and never got paid. If they don't pay the contractors, won't take jobs from this place. They should interview the tenants, lien on property, lien on property, lien on property. Hopefully they had a contractor. Hopefully they had a contract. Always take a deposit for at least half, says this one particular. Yeah, you're not getting a deposit in the apartment world. It's going to be very far and few between where you're going to be able to get a deposit, unless potentially you are big fish and doing $1.3 million worth of work. But here's the crazy, I can't even believe that he's not in the story. He should be in that story so much. One final thing to mention real quick before I wrap this video up. When I first started talking about like shit dealings with property management companies in video, while we were doing the painting business and painting work and showcasing that in video, I did have some person reach out to me via email and said, hey, I work at a local apartment complex in the area and I just wanted to know if you had any information on them. I said, hey, yeah, you can ask. I mean, maybe I do, maybe I don't. And he mentioned that he worked for Kev Properties. And I said, LOL. They're the worst in the area. They suck. And he would tell me that he was a maintenance supervisor for some property, and he never responded to me again. So, interesting to note. Hey, look, hope this was a video you guys enjoyed. If it was, leave a comment. Let me know exactly what you think about this situation. What would you do if you were in that situation and you were hearing all of this? You know what's crazy is I ought to title this video Kev Property Management, so that people in the area can watch this and know. The one thing that really grinds my gears about this is if you are in the contractor world for apartments and you're working for these small fish apartment complexes and property management companies, you need to do your homework, okay? Don't worry about just trying to secure the work and think that, oh, we got so many properties now. You need to make friends or try to be friendly with people who actually work there, people who actually know. Because getting in bed with a company you ain't never heard of and don't know anything about, especially a small fish, no matter what state that you're in, could lead to headaches that you don't want. These people will tell you anything. Oh, yeah, man. Hey, the other guy, he sucked, but you're the best. That's why we got you here now. They will feed you a line of horse shit. It will run you around, all the while knowing, man, they ain't about to pay you. And when it does come time, what you going to do? You're going to try to take them to court? Okay, so what? We'll settle. Oh, you want to charge us how much to do the job? Cool. I know that I'll never pay. You'll have to threaten to take me to court. We'll settle this out of court for half. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get the rock bottom price no matter what at your expense. Take it from me. I should know. I catch a lot of hell about, oh, Joe don't want to do no work and Joe's lazy and, well, Joe, your work was never all that great and you're sitting here reacting to other people's work. Well, let me tell you something. I am a fucking professional when it comes to the apartment game. And I got a lot of inside knowledge to how that shit really goes. So take it from me. I hope that I'm able to enlighten people sharing the information that I do. Y'all take care, and I'll look forward to sharing more with you again real soon.